Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we'll be talking about the film Ballerina. Fun fact, this is the final role of Lance Reddick, who passed away in 2023. This film was released in 2025 and stars Anna de Armas, Anjelica Houston, and Gabriel Byrne, and was directed by Wiseman. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Ballerina tells the story of Eve, whose father is killed, and she goes on to train with the Ruska Roma to be an assassin. On a mission, she comes across a man with the same mark as the one that killed her dad, so she goes on a mission to kill the people who killed her dad, even if it might start a war in the criminal underground. Ballerina is an action packed thriller. It has similar vibes to John Wick, Nobody, or Atomic Blonde. I have been waiting for Anna de Armas to be in an action movie ever since she had her 10 minutes to shine in No Time to Die, because her scene in that movie was just so cool. She gets to step into the spotlight with Ballerina, which is part of the John Wick franchise, and brings over the well choreographed fight scenes as well as all of the blood, durability, and trips all over the world. It's interesting to meet this character in this universe and see where her story connects with John Wick, but also where it's different. I love how, in contrast to John Wick and his films, she's just getting started and isn't a legend yet. The movie got off to an intense start with a fight with Javier, Eve's dad, which had me on the edge of my seat. I was sad he died, but I knew that that was the catalyst for Eve to start fighting and eventually become an assassin. I felt like the film dragged on a bit after that, showing her deciding to join the Romaruska, and I thought it would be great to mix in how the group was formed and how the structure works, because I don't know much about the Romaruska. Once we get past this, the movie really picks up and we see that the violence that, is loved in John Wick is still in this franchise, and it is definitely in this movie. I love how John Wick makes an appearance in this film, considering he was still alive, and at first she seeks advice from him, but then later she fights him as he is sent to kill her. I love how when she fights him, they don't make it seem like she can hold her own, because let's be honest, she is not nearly as skilled as him. He ends up making an agreement with her that lets both of them stay true to their word. John Wick knows the pain of losing a loved one and wanting revenge, so he even helps her out a little. Eve was an interesting character to follow because she is one who is just getting started in her career and is trying to follow the rules but is getting impatient. I love how her first mission was a struggle because this is for, her first time in the field, and she is still learning how to navigate fighting people who aren't holding back at all and might be better than her. I love how she had a mission and was set on completing it, and even though the director was against it, she still did what she needed to do. I think one of her greatest traits was the ability to adapt to situations, which really saved her and had me on the edge of my seat. In the end, I thought it might be cool for her to take over the cult since I had a feeling she had a hit on her now or would in the future. But also, cults are weird, so maybe it's best that she doesn't take over a cult. There are a few continuity errors throughout the film that I wish were addressed. The one that stands out the most to me is before the final battle. She had this bag full of guns that was in her trunk, and I was wondering what was the purpose of bringing all that, if she was just going to leave them in the trunk and then they were never going to bring it up again. I get that she was being attacked, but then she never returns even after she kills the people that are in that general area. So it's like, what's the purpose of showing the bag if it wasn't going to be used? I'm glad that she was resourceful though and used the enemy's weapons against them. The cult members look like normal people, which is a small but important note to get people to join your cult. You have to look inviting and act nice, which they did. I love how you didn't think some people were in it and then were surprised that everyone in this town was in on it. It was cool to have an enemy that looks like everyone else, which helps up the tension because anyone in the vicinity could attack you. I think the way they introduced this group was smart too, to show how they have flown under the radar and why no one would have mentioned them or know where they are located. My favorite part of this movie was the action scenes. The durability in the John Wick movies is very high, and this film definitely keeps that up. The action is violent and really doesn't hold back, and will have you saying, oh, because you were just shocked that they did that, like blowing up a man on the side of a building or driving an axe through someone's head. One of the coolest and original scenes from what I can remember was the flamethrower scene, which has a very intense situation around it. And it was great to see her get out of it by using a flamethrower, which I thought would be like one and done. And she just kept burning things, mostly people. But it got the job done. Even when the enemy gets one, she fights off the enemy with the flamethrower, so we get a cool little flamethrower battle. And eventually John Wick does help her, but it was really cool to see her with this flamethrower just making a mess with dead bodies. Ballerina is an entertaining addition to the John Wick universe. The action scenes and the acting will keep you on the edge of your seat. This proved that there is still so much to explore in this franchise, and it kind of ends on a cliffhanger. So hopefully we get more Ballerina movies to expand on Eve's lore. Thank you for watching my video. I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, please do so to keep up to date with more of my videos. But besides that, everyone stay safe, have fun, and goodbye.